Hello, Bible. Chapter 4, Leviticus. Third book of Moses. I think that I'm going to stop the Instagram lives. Mainly because it's kind of just a whole bunch of Muslims saying some stuff in Arabic. Okay, let's get right into this. The chapter 4. Oh wait, recap. Chapter 3 was more about sacrifices, and that's about it. Seems to be, because the first 3 chapters have kind of just been like, this is how you sacrifice an animal. Chapter 4. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a soul shall sin through ignorance against any one of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, it shall do against any of them. If the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin, which he hath sinned, a young bullock without blemish unto the Lord for a sin offering. He shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle in the congregation before the Lord, and he shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before the Lord. And the priest that is anointed shall take the bullock's blood and bring it to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord, before the veil of the sanctuary. The priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before the Lord, which is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and he shall take it off from all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inward, inwards, inwards, and all the kidneys and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks and the caul above the liver. but why? That's so stupid. 2 kidneys fat, caul above the liver. 9 chapter 4 Leviticus. The kidneys shall he take away, and it was taken from the bullock for the service of peace offerings. The priest shall burn them upon the altar, and the burnt offering, and the skin of the bullock, and all his flesh with his head, and his legs, and his inwards, and his dung. Even the whole bullock shall he carry forth without the camp unto a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out shall he be burned. And if the whole congregation of Israel sin through ignorance, and the thing he hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord, concerning things which shall not be done, and are guilty, which when the sin which they had sinned against is known, then the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin. And oh my goodness, dude, it's the exact same thing over and over and over again. Because we don't sacrifice stuff anymore. Okay, the reason. Oh, you want to know the reason why the Bible's kind of talking about sacrifice, but we don't do that anymore? No. It's because basically, back in like Israel times, back when all this was happening, it was like, once you sin, now you're unclean, you're impure. And it's like that. So basically, God's like, hey yo, I know that you guys kind of don't really have like an option. You know, you guys are kind of always gonna be impure because you guys are just bad people in general. You probably masturbate like every night. But whenever you guys sin against my commandments, I'm gonna give you guys a way to actually redeem yourselves. Okay, you're gonna have to sacrifice an animal. Basically, they're gonna take your place for your sin. Okay, okay, bada bing, bada bam, and then they're like, oh, bet. So now every time that they sin, oh no, so every time, well, hey, what? A ham is pig. Well, actually, in I'm pretty sure it might be the New Testament, but it could be the Old. Uh, someone was talking to God, and he's like, "Oh Lord, what may I eat this?" And he was talking to like a pig, and then God's like, "Yes, for I have purified everything." So and now we can kind of eat everything again. So thumbs up. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that really impacts me is yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of vegans are like, "Oh, don't kill the animals," but without us, well, they would actually like, oh, overpopulate. Like, there's like so too many wolves in the U.S. and like they're constantly overpopulated. Yeah, yeah. And you wanna know what they do? They eat all the deer, and because there's so many of them, the deer start to run low. So what do us humans do? We intervene and we start killing the wolves. So now the deer actually have time to repopulate because now the wolves aren't killing them every second of their day. Oh yeah, back to why we don't sacrifice stuff anymore. Basically, back then, you sin, you kill an animal, basically, so that takes your sin. Well, when Jesus came, he's like, okay, I will be your lamb, and then he sacrificed himself. So basically, Jesus kind of like, he took all your sin, and then he's like, okay, bye guys, and zoom. Yeah, I'm just trying to not make it sound boring because I mean, when you just speak about it normally, then it's kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, yes, well, Jesus came down to our salvation, and but I mean, kind of just making it. I mean, I am reading it word for word, hence the large amount of stuttering and the non-knowing how to speak some words. But I mean, I will kill you and then burn a pig. When the sin so young Leviticus 15, chapter 4. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands upon the Lord, upon the head of the bullock before the Lord, and the bullock shall be killed before the Lord, and the priest is anointed shall bring the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip the finger in some of the blood and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord, even before the veil, and he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar which is before the Lord, and all the tabernacle of the congregation shall pour out of the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall all take and he shall take all his fat from him and burn it upon the altar. He shall do the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering, so shall he do with this. And the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation when a ruler hath sinned and done so. No, I. When you have sinned, do this. Kill bullock. Get priest to drop blood. When a priest sins, do the exact same thing. But now it asks us to reread it. When the people sin, do it again. When the ruler sin, just all the same thing. It's okay though. I mean, in the time when they were sacrificing stuff, I guess this is really important information for them. Not to us anymore, but I mean, when a ruler hath sinned and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord his God, concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty, or if a sin wherein he hath sinned come to his knowledge, he shall bring the offering a kid of the goats, a male without blemish. Oh, that's different than a bullock. Ooh. Shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin with his finger and put it upon the horns of the altar and burnt offering, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offering, and he shall burn all the fat upon the altar as the fat sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall make an atonement for him as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he doeth somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord, concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty, or if a sin which he hath sinned come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for a sin which he hath sinned, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering, and the priest shall take the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar and burnt offering, and shall pour all the blood thereof on the bottom of the altar. And ye shall take away the fat thereof, and the fat is taken away off the sacrifice of peace of earrings, and the priest shall burn it upon the Lord for a sweet savour unto the Lord, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And he shall bring a lamb of a sin offering, he shall bring a female without blemish, and he shall lay the head upon the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offering, and the priest shall take of the blood of sin offering with the finger, and he shall put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out of the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar, and he shall take away all the fat thereof, and all, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offerings, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord, and the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he hath committed, and it shall be forgiven. And it shall be forgiven him. Chapter 5. Let's go over what we read in chapter 4. Yes, Solomon, we are at third book, Leviticus. Basically, what happened in chapter 4 was it was just telling you how to sacrifice a lot. Like, how do these types of people sacrifice when they sin? How do these people sacrifice when they sin? How do these people sacrifice? And it was kind of that over and over and over again. The main gist of it was that person had to kill the animal outside the tabernacle, and then the priest, or the anointed priests or whatever. Yeah, most of the time it was anointed priest. I'm pretty sure it was all the time. He would, I guess, dip his finger and have 7 blood droplets on the altar and blood on the horns and stuff. And yeah, that's about the end of chapter 14. I mean 4. Chapter 5. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and it is... Please don't tell me that this... Oh, please don't tell me that it's the exact same thing. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is in a witness whether he hath seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear the iniquity. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or carcass of unclean cattle, or carcass of an unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he shall be unclean or guilty. Unclean and guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of a man, whomsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled with that, and it be hid from him when he knoweth of it, and he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips, or do evil, or to do good, pronouncing with an oath, and it be hid from him, when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. He shall be guilty of, and it shall be when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he hath sinned in that thing, and he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord for his sin which he hath sinned, a female from the flock. Oh, please. A female from the flock, a lamb or kid of the goats for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning a sin. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he hath committed 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons unto the Lord, for one for a sin offering, the other for a burnt offering. He shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and rest upon the blood shall he be wrung out of the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering, and he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to the manner of the priest, shall make an atonement for him for his sin which he hath sinned. It shall be forgiven him. It shall be forgiven him. But if he not be able to bring two turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring his offering, the 10th parts of a fat of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar, according of the offerings made by fire, unto the Lord. It is a sin offering. The priest shall make the atonement for him as touching his sin, that he hath sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him, and the remnant shall be the priest's as a meat offering. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, If a soul commit a trespass, and sin through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring his trespass unto the Lord, a ram without blemish out of the flocks, with thy estimation by shekels of silver, and after the shekel of the sanctuary for a trespass offering. He shall make amends for the harm that he hath done in the holy thing, shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest, and the priest shall make an atonement for him. With the ram of the trespass offering, it shall be forgiven him. If a soul sin and commit any of these things that are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Lord, though he wist it not, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. He shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, with thy estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance wherein he erred and risked it not, and shall be forgiven him. It is a trespass offering. He hath certainly trespassed against the Lord. Chapter 6. Yes, Solomon. Oh, Solomon, cheeseburgers were not mentioned in the Bible. No, a cheeseburger was not mentioned in the Bible either. What? No, I don't know. Chapter 6. Actually, no, we gotta do the recap. Okay, I guess that will be the final one because we gotta do recap. Uh, wait, let me find my bookmark. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a large piece of paper that I ripped out of my math notebook once. I can't find it. I might need to just rip out another piece of paper. Where actually is it? I'll put in a little piece of paper kind of for holding while I look for my actual bookmark. Well, not actual bookmark. I don't have an actual bookmark, but I know you are. I can hear them. I know you wash dish. Okay, it was under my phone. Okay, I'm gonna end it off here. See you.